legends, in today's video, we're going to be offering some help to Islam Makhachev, okay? He is in the career-defining moments of his, career, I guess is the best way to say it. But listen, okay? I'm not going to be making another video screaming about how Justin Gaethje doesn't deserve to be the next one to get a title shot, all right? There's already plenty of that going around on MMA YouTube, and I think it's well-deserved, because we're seeing it from the credentialed MMA media that it should be Justin Gaethje's a great fight to make next. No, shut up. No, he isn't. Okay? No, he isn't. All right? But I am going to point out that over the last 15 years of Islam Makhachev's career, of his professional cage fighting career, these next 18 months, these next 3 fights are his career-defining fights. Now, why do I put such a harsh timeline on that? Well, firstly, it's because we know the boys from Team Eagle. They're here to get the cash and dash like JDM, except, you know, make it to absolute GOAT status, which JDM will do, give him time. But they're here for a good time, not a long time, right? They get the cash, they get the accolades, they get out, which is very clever. They are a very clever camp of fighters. And I do believe Islam Makhachev has already started talking about how he doesn't want to be in the game for too long, doesn't want to overstay his welcome. I reckon we're looking at 18 months, which is about 3 fights left of enjoying Islam Makhachev. So let us enjoy them while he's here. Now, these 3 fights are career-defining fights for him. Fighting Justin Gaethje next will tarnish that career. Here's the problem, okay? I like Islam. I like Islam Makhachev a lot. Even though, just like it is with Volkanovski's daughter, he is my nightmare, constantly and endlessly beating some of my favorite fighters of all time. Dan Hooker, Charles Oliveira, Volkanovski twice, Dustin Poirier. I hate you, Islam Makhachev, but you are so good at fighting and low-key kind of funny as well. So I hate him and I love him. But aside from me just personally liking the guy and his fighting style, Islam Makhachev might be the first true modern era fighter to ever break into that top 3. I'm serious, right? The top 3 of the GOAT conversation. Your GSP, sorry, microphone, your GSP, your Mighty Mouse, your John Jones conversation. Now, I know that Lucas Tracy likes to update his GOAT list every single time a champion wins a belt, right? Essentially, Lucas Tracy's GOAT list is just the champion list from UFC.com. The competition's never been higher. It's never been a higher competition. He's got to be the GOAT. But Lucas is MMA YouTube special little guy, all right? Islam is actually going to be the first modern era fighter to break into the GOAT list, okay? Right? Well, not just as, like, there could be other fighters as well. Marab could break into the GOAT list. DDP could break into the GOAT list. We'll see how their careers go. We'll see how DDP goes after he gets through Hamzat. But these are the fighters in our era that can break into that top 3, and Islam Makhachev is easily the closest. And I'm talking 2 fights away. But he's not going to be able to do that if he doesn't navigate these next 18 months, these next 2 to 3 fights very carefully. Because yes, he might have already broken the lightweight record with defending the belt. But when we get into the GOAT conversation, context really matters. People start to pick apart every single person in the GOAT lists legacy and value there depending on their career, right? Mighty Mouse, you've got his level of competition sucked. He lost to Henry Cejudo, which he didn't, and his level of competition is the best that he could get at the time. It is what it is. But you see, Mighty Mouse has these little things that take away from him being the GOAT, yeah? You got GSP. Well, he oiled up. He ducked Robert Whittaker when he promised to fight Robert Whittaker. He ducked the Johnny Hendricks rematch. I always forget his name. He ducked the Johnny Hendricks rematch, right? GSP has got little things that you can pick apart. John Jones. The list is quite frankly too long to go through. And having said all of that, already where Islam Makhachev is with his career, the haters are going to discredit his career too, yeah? His best and only real win of a true lightweight contender as a champion is Charles Oliveira, yeah? Volk, people will say it was a good win. People will say it was a good win. But it was featherweight, Volk was moving up in the first one, and it was very controversial. Very, very controversial. Fight could have gone either way. I had it scored to Volk. And the second one was Volk being an idiot. Yeah, deciding to take a taller, stronger, the greatest fighter in the world, take him on 11 days notice. That was dumb from Volk. So people are going to immediately discredit the second Volk win and put a little asterisk next to the first one, yeah? Plus he had just come off a horrific injury. He was sitting on the couch for ages, yeah? Then you went to war with Dustin Poirier. One judge having it go 2-2 into the 5th round. And Dustin Poirier is very, very good, but he was not the rightful number 1 contender. And then you've got the win over Renato Moicano on short notice. Yes, you broke the record, but you broke the record against not the best competition, right? And then we have got the cheating allegations, the steroid use that they are going to talk about when we get to the GOAT list, right? Evidence here. There's the time that you also, Islam, you did pop for a performance enhancer, which you were cleared for, and it was found to be accidental, although 4 athletes from the same team also made the same accident. 4 separate athletes were all prescribed something for medical use. That's 4 separate prescriptions for 4 separate people to have 4 separate accidents, all for the same team. Yeah, look, I know that that's going to piss off a ton of the new Muslim fans that just got here. I just made that MMA Guru video, right? But I made that MMA Guru video because it's the truth. I like Guru. I have a lot of fans that are Guru fans. But that video was the truth, yeah? And I like Islam Makhachev. I'm happy that Magomed Ankalaev won. He was the rightful winner. But the fact that Team Eagle cheats is also the fucking truth, okay? That's the truth. Get the fuck out of here with that. The prescription, brother, is accident, brother. They don't make an accident 4 fucking times in a row out of the same gym, okay? That's the truth. Now, those criticisms will be had, but that's honestly, when it comes to the GOAT list, not as bad as the criticisms John Jones gets. So, with the criticisms that Islam will be facing, there is still a way to navigate his way into the top 3. Firstly, fuck Bilal or JDM. It doesn't matter who wins, it will be JDM. But, should the unthinkable happen, and it's Bilal, fuck him. Fuck him. It's your legacy, man. It's your career, okay? Fighting is a selfish sport. You need to make a run at the welterweight title no matter what. That's the game these days. DC has cemented himself in the top 10, in my opinion, for picking up a second belt. So has Amanda Nunes for being the greatest women's fighter at all time with a second belt. So has Conor McGregor, not just for picking up the second belt, but for also setting the standard of getting 2 belts in the UFC and everything that he's done for this sport. Yeah, the top 10, it's very hard to break into it because people's legacies are very well cemented. And if you're going to go hard at the top 3, you need the second belt, mate. Obviously, if it's JDM, you won't have a problem pushing for the second belt, but if it's Bilal Muhammad, should the unthinkable happen and Bilal Muhammad should win, he's just some Muslim guy that you trained with once, okay? The guy's from Chicago, right? Just because my mum grew up in Serbia doesn't mean I'm going to go out there and ride or die from every dude walking the streets of Belgrade. Yeah, I'm not brothers with everyone on the streets of Belgrade. Yeah, I'm some Aussie from Melbourne whose mum grew up in Serbia. This dude grew up in Chicago, okay? Yeah, he's got a Palestinian background, a Muslim background. Are you seriously going to give up your legacy in the halls of Valhalla because you trained with some Muslim dude once? Fuck that, man. MMA has no friends. You must make the push. You must. I pray, Islam, you could be the fucking greatest ever, dude. Push! Look, in the meantime, while that's happening, while the winner of that fight gets healed up, you need a fight. It can't be Gaethje. It can't be. You've already had way too many gimme fights. Too many. Now, the UFC is punishing Arman, right? They might not want to reward Ilya for vacating and screwing up featherweight a little bit. Something definitely sus happened with Arman Tsarukyan, okay? You were injured. You couldn't fight for the belt. 6 weeks later, all of a sudden, you're ready to jump up on short notice against Justin Gaethje. Again, me smelleth the bullshit around here somewhere. I don't believe Arman was fucking injured now for a second. You can't be so injured you can't fight for a title, the lightweight title, the greatest title the sport has, but 6 weeks later you can fight on short notice. So the UFC, they're punishing Arman for some bullshit that went on. Now, this isn't your fault, Islam, but you need to fight the rightful contender. Yet the rightful contender is being pushed down the back of the line by the UFC. So what are you to do, sir? Listen, you need to tell Javier Mendez and Ali to shut the fuck up with the Gaethje talk. There needs to be no Gaethje talk coming from your camp. And Gaethje's Twitter is your fucking manager, your fucking camp. We all know it, dude. You, Islam, not your manager, not your coach. You need to get super vocal about the Arman fight, okay? Now, you're probably not going to get it because the UFC are punishing Arman, but the fans need to hear you loud and clear, repetitively, trying to get that fight. This shifts the blame off you, because when the history books look back at this, they'll say that Islam tried to get the Arman fight, but Arman was never ready for him. Yeah, and it's got to be done loudly, and it's got to be done often, because MMA fans, you know, Sharma, left hook, must be the greatest fighter of all time. They're not, you know, the sharpest tools in the shed, okay? The same thing has to happen with Ilia Topuria. Maybe the UFC don't want to give Ilia Topuria a title shot straight away because he sort of messed things up. That's fine. That's not your fault, but you can't lean into the same mistake Alex Pereira leaned into, where the UFC are overbooking Magomed Ankalaev. The UFC are making the decisions, but Alex is getting blamed for Magomed. You can't fall into that trap. You gotta call out those two fighters loudly and consistently, and you have to do it. You might still end up with the Gaethje fight, but this way it won't look like you're taking the easiest fights available to you, which quite frankly every champion should do. Like, I get it. You know, my uncle once told me the best thing to do as a UFC fighter is to get the easiest matchup possible for the most money possible. I get that's what every champion should do, but we're not talking about every fucking champion anymore. We're talking about getting into the top 3. We're talking about the greatest fighter of all time. You want to be the GOAT? You want to be the GOAT? You make a video. You get someone from ESPN, Brett Okamoto, yeah? Submission Radio, anyone. And you say, brother, I want Ilya. Maybe little guy can't bulk, I don't know, but I want Ilya, brother. Arman, brother, he broke his back heel. I take welterweight belt, no matter, brother. I take them, I smash them all, brother. Inshallah, brother, number 1, brother. You gotta call for them loudly. Don't just sit there and allow the UFC to cherry pick your fights for you. If you do that, and you get either Ilya or Arman, you win one of those 2 fights. Then you move up and you fight the welterweight champ, and you become the welterweight champ as well. Islam, no one will care about the entire team popping for prescription drugs. No one will care. Sean O'Malley's popped, John Jones has popped, everyone's popped. No one will care about that. But if you win those 2 fights, and Ilya and Arman, a Bilal or a JDM, you will be the greatest fighter of all time, guaranteed. That's what you need to do. Don't take the Gaethje fight. Don't. Or don't look like you're taking the Gaethje fight. Because right now, your manager is pushing for the Gaethje fight. Your coaches are pushing for the Gaethje fight. You can't. You can't. Everything is on the line. The greatest fighter of all time is on the line in the next 2 or 3 fights. Pick them very carefully, mate. That's it. That's today's video. That's the end of the week. Let me know what you think about it down there in the comments. Can Islam Makhachev make it past GSP, John Jones, and Mighty Mouse with those couple of wins? Let me know about it down there. If this is your first time here, g'day. My name is Dougie. I try and make an MMA video every day of the week, Monday through Friday. So 5 days a week, I guess you could say. Monday through Friday. Today's Friday, so that's it for the week. Happy bloody weekend, everybody out there. And I go live at least 3 times a week. If you want to know when all of that happens, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell, give this video a like to help boost it in the algo. My algorithm looks terrible after that Guru video because that one went like this and then every video went back to normal, so now it looks like this. YouTube hates that, so please give it a like. That would help me a lot. And if you're one of the paying members of this channel, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys to the bottom of my bloody heart, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.